when the stock market and the job market was starting to crash, so he decided he was going to start his own business, and also became an inspirational and motivational speaker as well. So we want to welcome him in. So yeah, can you guys give him a round of applause and bring him in? Welcome here to the Black Male Recruitment Conference. So how we're going to kick this off is we're going to start off with him, and then we'll go into the student panel after. But we have some questions we're going to ask him just to get to know him a little better.
Am I in that shot? Y'all my videographer. All right, cool.
Awesome. So start off by let's tell the students about your college experience. What was being in college like for you?
So I went to University of Florida from 2005 to 2009, and it was a very interesting experience prior to that, because I'd hate to kind of give you that context of just me getting into college. I grew up in Miami, Florida. As I mentioned, didn't have much of a father figure present, lost my mom at an early age to breast cancer. So when you have those stats against you, you're pretty much told, like, look, you're not going to be able to do anything. You're probably not going to graduate from high school. That's what my teachers told me. In middle school, they told me that. In elementary school, I had teachers that told me you're not going to have friends in life, like elementary school, which is crazy to think at such a, I think when I was probably maybe 7, 8, 9, that you're getting told these things. So literally never been able to have that kind of picture being painted at college as possible. But I will mention that there was one teacher who said, even though it didn't happen, he said that I was going to be the first black president. And granted, of course, that we know that didn't happen. But I think what that did for me was actually spark something. All right, somebody believes in me. So if somebody believes in me, then what else can I do? So when I applied to college, I didn't really know what I was getting into. So I just wanted to get out of Miami, Florida. I got tired of being in, I guess I don't want to just call it the hood, because there was more to it. I mean, it was a place of life, and there's a lot of art and a lot of creativity there. We just happened to be all in one area, so we call that the hood, I guess. So when I came to UF back in 2009, or 2005, excuse me, I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. I wanted to do like animation or something crazy, but I ended up doing sports medicine, primarily because I was like, well, I can use my concepts for sports medicine and actually get into animation, because biomechanics has a lot of body movement. Maybe if I wanted to work for like Madden one day or NBA 2K one day, then I can use some of the mechanics from sports and tie that into that. So after I graduated from UF, I kind of painted a different picture. So in 2009, I couldn't find a real place to work. So between like 2009 and 2011, I ended up at Full Sail University. Have you guys ever heard of Full Sail before? No? So Full Sail University is a college all focused around entertainment, media, and the arts. So I was rapping at the time, and I wanted to be I thought I was going to be like the next Big Sean or Kanye. And I was like, well, I need to go to a school where there's actually going to be music involved. So I ended up going to Full Sail. 2011, 2012, I graduated, and I graduated with a degree in recording engineering. So now I know how to actually make myself sound better. I know how to actually record the band, record the group. So I have that audio expertise behind me. But between 2009 and 2011, me and my boy, who was my engineer, my brother of another mother and skin color, so he's a white guy, we decided to create this company, Foolies. All right, we want to inspire people to live out their goals and dreams, but they got to be foolish. They got to be crazy if they want to actually get that going. So we started Foolies. When I got out of Full Sail, it just was like, all right, let's keep doing this. I don't know what it was, but I still do music, kind of, sort of, not as much. Maybe not aspiring to be a Kanye West anymore, but just different ways of using my audio background and my engineering to just do cool things. So kind of had to give you guys a story or paint that picture of letting you know where I came from here, and then kind of what sparked the whole church and all that.
Awesome. So what would you, why is it important for us to start businesses instead of just going out and getting a job?
So I will say one, everybody is supposed to start a business, and that's kind of okay. But there is an importance behind creating something that you belong to. And I'm sure you guys watch a lot of artists, a lot of celebrities, even down to ball players, who eventually they create a clothing line, they have a perfume, they have a nonprofit, they have something that they get into. And the power of that is just you are now in the ability or place to create your own. And then some of you guys are probably saying, well, how old is most of the people here? What's the age groups? What are we looking at? How old are you? 12? 17. So some of you are probably saying, well, I don't really know how to make a business. Like, I don't know what the first step is to do. For me, I sold chips and juice. And so I understood that if I spent, $20 on chips or whatever I bought, I knew I was going to get $45 back, or I knew I was going to get, $50 back off of what I sold. Okay, that's just me understanding the basics of profit. So I spend 25, I get 50. It was my way of moving weight without getting caught or going to jail for it. Most happened if I sold chips and juice in school, my teachers would take my bags from me and say, well, you can't do this, and then I'd have another bag ready to go because I already knew they were probably going to take it. So, I mean, if you start small with little things like that, then that starts to show you what you can do more, and that stuff will start translating later on in life to what you can do with business. But I think it's important to create your own thing because then you can help somebody else out. So that's really why I created Foolies, because my goal is to actually help other people, other students of color, minorities, like anybody in that playground of just, they don't have all the things to get to the next level. Well, why don't I create something and then I actually can help and empower them to get to where they need to be. So I think that's why that holds an importance. I think understanding business may just be a little bit more important. So understanding your worth, knowing what you should get out of life, knowing some of the things that have value does come out of business. So whether you want to be a doctor, lawyer, rocket scientist, you want to play ball, you need to understand business. Even going back further, you need to understand reading. You need to understand writing and the importance of those things. Because if you can't read or write to sign your contracts, then you may get screwed. And I'm sure you guys have probably heard stories of artists being screwed over or athletes being screwed over because they didn't read the fine print, so they didn't know these things. So personally, I think even going away from business, the core skills are just reading and writing, or for you guys, just watching YouTube. So how many of you guys have a smartphone? Okay, that's it. Raise your hand high. How many people got a smartphone? Okay, cool. So you guys probably have like Instagram, Snapchat, right? All that stuff. That's the beginning. You guys watch the short skits that people do on Vine and Instagram and all that stuff, right? You guys see that stuff, right, every day. Some of these cats are getting money off that. So if you understand that even like without, like you have that smartphone in your pockets, that's your business right there. You have a studio on that phone. You got like all the writing tools you need. You can make a Facebook business account tonight. You can do everything you need to do on that smartphone by itself. So honestly, if you get the core concepts of reading and writing, understanding a little bit of business, which you can watch videos on YouTube to help you get that, and you start using that smartphone in your hand, y'all could take off. And I'm sure y'all see kids y'all age, 17 years old, 12 years old, with full-on YouTube videos and Instagram accounts. And they started off just like y'all, watching some tutorials. Somebody bought them a camera. They're using their smartphone, and then they start making stuff. And eventually something hit. Y'all all probably dance, right? Everybody probably jujuing right now, right? That's what's hot right now, right? Yeah? Y'all awake? Y'all with me? So y'all are dancing, y'all are doing stuff. Y'all can record those things. Y'all see people on the Ellen Show after doing a dance or doing something silly. That could be y'all. So you all actually now have the power to create business, unlike your mom and your dad, who, they probably didn't have those resources. And even going back, my mom and my dad probably thought that go to college, get a degree, stay focused, and that's what's going to get you to the top. So you guys have a lot more resources now than we ever had, which is phenomenal.
So let's focus on community a little bit. So you talked about giving back. Why is it, first of all, important for young people to get involved in their community, and how has being involved in your community played a role in your success?
So I think with you guys, you guys are all unique and special. So primarily because you're students of color. And so, does anybody want to play sports in here? Okay, a lot of hands, I figured. All right. What do you want to do, like sports-wise?
Football position.
What position?
Center field, running back.
Okay, so let's say this young man, what's your name?
Jeremiah.
Okay, so let's say Jeremiah goes out, he makes it into the league. He's doing amazing things. Let's say you're playing, excuse me for the team, but maybe you're great enough to play for the Dolphins because we need some help right now in Miami. So maybe you go play for the Dolphins, actually get them to a Super Bowl. You're doing some crazy things out there. Great. With you getting to that level of success, what high school do you go to or middle school?
Bradford High School.
So once kids find out that you go to that high school or middle school, that's already a push that every other student in Bradford is probably going to feel like, now, oh snap, I could do it too, because if Jeremiah did it, I need to study his tapes, I need to study what he's doing, and one day I'll actually get to where he is in the game today. And then you taking that back down and saying, you know what, now that I have made it, or now that I have, even just getting into college, maybe you're playing for like LSU, UF, whoever, You get into college. From the moment you get into college on that football scholarship or baseball scholarship, and you go back to your students of your middle school, high school, and talk to them, it's already a different playground because you guys get talked to by teachers all day. That's kind of boring by now. And most of them don't even understand what y'all are going through personally, physically. They don't know what's happening at your house. They don't know if your mom's abusive. They don't know if your dad's on drugs. They don't know if you don't even have parents at the crib. They don't know these things. So when you come back and you start talking, you don't have to always give money. That's one aspect of helping your community. The fact that you go back and show your face to even students that look like you, it don't even have to be the same place. You could, if you go to LSU and you can start talking to kids in that area of Louisiana that might not, have the opportunity to do what you did. So once you start going back and talking to the kids and actually, I remember sitting in something very similar to this kind of stuff years ago, maybe once or twice. Maybe nothing as formal in like a whole conference, but I don't know if that inspired me to actually get to where I am today, but maybe it did. So just seeing you is just a great example of where you want to be. I mean, you guys look at LeBron, you guys look at Jordan, you look at the Kobe's. All that stuff inspires you to play ball harder. That stuff inspires you to actually get back on the court a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So when you see Steph Curry do his thing, you're thinking about how can I mirror that and then go 10 times harder. And he's not even back in your school to tell you that. That's just because he's leading by example. So if anything, when you come back to your communities, you are leading by example. So that's the most valuable part. So this moment, while you guys are like, I don't know, y'all all coughing, y'all all right? Y'all good? Yeah, cool. All right, so, while y'all are just in this age, from 12 years old to 17, might be a little bit younger in here, this stuff might mean nothing to you right now, but where this stuff will hit you at later, and when you start to aspire for greatness, and then you're in this chair, and you like, yeah, some kid talked to me 10 years ago. I didn't even know his name. I didn't even remember what he did. He said he did T-shirts, something crazy like that. I don't know where that fool went. Now, you're back in the classes having that same conversation, hoping to inspire somebody else to get to where you've gotten to today. So going back, getting into your communities, it's important. As like I said, the moment you get into college, the moment you get into high school, go back to your middle school. The moment you get into college, go back to your high school. The moment you graduate, now start talking to the college students. And then go back to the high school, then go back to the middle school. Send photos to your teachers. We call them professors, so I just will roll with that. Send photos to your professors. Hey, look at me, I'm in high school now. Hey, look at me, I'm in college now. Post that around campus. If there was pictures around high school campuses of all the young brothers like y'all that were actually in college, y'all would start acting differently. Right now, you don't care because you don't really know who's out there. You might want to play sports. All right, cool. But imagine if that was your banners. Those like read, think, reading is paramount, knowledge is power. Y'all know those like posters with people y'all don't know. Who are those people on those actual posters? But imagine if that was y'all. Your picture, oh, this is Jeremiah. He's now playing for an XYZ team. He went here. That's saying a whole different story now to that student that's like, oh, snap, if he did it, then I guess I can too. It'll be a different journey, different trajectory, but you guys can definitely do it as well. So.
Before we take questions from them, I have to ask you, what advice do you have for the students that feel like they can't go to college, and for the students that feel like they can't get out of the environment that they're in right now?
Does anybody in here feel like they can't go to college? I just want to understand. One hand? Anybody else? So everybody else is pretty sure like I'm going to college, right? Yeah, so show me who thinks they can go to college right there. Okay. So you guys think you can go to college, which is great. Well, majority. And then maybe you're like, I don't know. So why don't you know if you can go into college or get into college? What makes you think that?
All of the above.
All of the above or what?
Like, I don't know I can go to college anymore because of my grades.
Okay. So I'm guessing you're not like a straight A student when you say because of my grades. Okay. So that could be a plausible reason for not thinking you can go to college. For those who think they can go to college, why do you think you could go to college?
Because I'm very capable of academically. I feel I can go there, and then for athletics, I can go there too because I'm good at basketball and football.
Okay.
My two sports that I really play.
Okay. And then what middle school or high school do you go to?
Bradford.
Bradford? Y'all go to the same school?
Yeah.
Are your grades up? So Jeremiah, what's your name?
Jaquan.
Was it?
Jaquan.
Jaquan? Do you know Jaquan? Y'all go to the same school?
I go to high school.
You go to the high school? You go to the middle school? So is it possible that he can get your number and you start telling him how you got out of middle school? Because you know, right? You did it. So if you can do that, You got somebody who, did you go to that middle school too? So you got out. And it was tough, right? You had it, so it was easier for you. Okay. So you need to reach out to Jeremiah at the end, if that's okay with you. I don't want to make it awkward. But just almost like a mentor kind of thing, because you guys can do that now. So I need you to talk to Jeremiah at the end and start saying, how'd you do it? What classes did you take? You know, anything that you can help me with. And if it's okay, maybe you can help him with homework a little bit. I don't know. I'm not trying to tell you to be his like new parent or nothing, but you can probably help him with something. Cool? So all of you guys that said you can't go to college, that's phenomenal. Now I will say you need to find somebody that feels like they can't do it. And you need to give them some kind of tips, some kind of steps, some kind of help. What's up?
The only thing I would say is just find someone older where they are where you want to be at. Because when I was in middle school, I was hanging around them because they were all older than me. And
Okay.
they was not where I wanted to be at. They helped me out on my way through. They helped me out with little tips and things like that. That's what really made me.
Okay, so you heard that? So start hanging out with people who are older than you, who kind of have it together, you know, and kind of are focused. And these are all your boys right here in the corner?
They're all older than me. I'm a grade lower than everybody other than Taz right here.
Okay. Okay, so that's cool. So that's one step. If you don't feel like you could go to college, you know, granted, a lot of you guys do, so I hate to assume that you don't feel that way, but that's powerful. Take that concept and keep applying that. So wherever you go, so high school, cool. Start hanging out with some of the older kids, figuring out what they're doing. What are the successful things that they're getting into? What kind of clubs are they joining? What kind of organizations are they becoming a part of? Because if they're doing positive things, then you can just follow that pathway. So same concept. Find some kids that are older. Hopefully y'all still connect because who knows where that could go mentorship-wise. But now y'all can start following the people who are actually doing it. And then, once again, you guys all have smartphones. So find people that look like y'all and then find out their stories. So it's not enough to just watch Steph Curry ball on the internet. That's whack. Anybody could pull up some highlight tapes. This cat's in the hood who probably play way better than Steph. You know, no disrespect, but we all know there's somebody that's better that just didn't get discovered, or maybe they didn't go to college or whatever. So start actually finding out their backstory, where they're from, what they did, how they did it, where did they go, what environments were they in, and start researching that stuff. So anybody you guys admire, especially because a lot of you guys raise your hand and want to be athletes, anybody that you admire, start finding out their backstory. What y'all gonna find out? What y'all gonna find out?
Backstory.
Okay, start finding out where these guys were. What did they learn? Who were their teachers? Get so crazy enough to call up that person's high school. It's possible. It might seem a little weird. Hey, my name's Jeremiah. I know this is kind of awkward. LeBron went to your school. I'm trying to figure out how can I talk to the coach. Why you want to talk to the coach? Well, because if he coached LeBron, then maybe he got some tips for me to help me get to the league. That makes sense, right? I'm sure the phone for the high school is online, so you can easily look that up. Can I speak to coach whoever? You find it on the website. Can I talk to the coach? Can I email him? Can I ask him some questions? Maybe he can give you tips, because if he trained LeBron, then why couldn't he give you some tips to actually become that next LeBron or something greater? And there's probably stuff that you don't think about. Well, now that I've mentioned it, you're probably like, duh, of course I could do that. But now you have something, like a seed planted. For you guys that are a little bit younger, who might not be able to be like, oh, I can just call up everybody. Ask your mom and dad to do it. Hey, could you call Steph Curry's high school? I found out where he went. Could you possibly talk to the coach? I'm trying to be like Steph Curry one day. So, I mean, if you could ask the coach some questions for me, that'd be cool. And then they can give you that information of what you need to be doing from now. Or you guys are all, you know, still young. You guys got Instagram, Twitter accounts. Let's say you get your whole school or maybe your whole basketball team and y'all start tweeting Steph Curry and be like, hey, could you come out to our school? Being that y'all are still young, if y'all could get everybody to do it, let's say you got 100 athletes on the team. If you could get everybody to just tweet Steph Curry for like a day straight, hey, come out to, you know, where's the high school again? Come out to Bradford. He might actually listen. It's not impossible. They check their phones. They're the ones tweeting and posting on Instagram. So if all of y'all started doing that, cool. All your athletes, 100 of y'all, how many athletes you got in your school? Around a guess. Too many. The guesstimation. 50, 100, 200, what are you thinking?
Boys and girls?
Yeah.
About like 200.
Okay. So imagine if all of y'all started tweeting Steph Curry and was like, come out to our school. And y'all did that like 30 days straight or 10 days straight or 5 days straight. He probably would come out and hang with y'all for a day and probably give y'all some tips on how he did it. Does that seem impossible? Does it seem impossible?
Nope.
So that's stuff that y'all could be doing now. But that's just, you know, my thoughts.
So do you want to take some questions from?
Sure. If anybody has questions, that's fine.
Yeah, so let's take some questions. I know y'all have some questions. We have an educated Black business owner up here, so let's get some questions going.
Any questions? Any thoughts? Feelings?
Okay, well, tell us more about well, before we go into the student panel a little bit, tell us more about the process of starting a business. How does that work
Okay.
for the people that want to start businesses in the crowd?
So the process of creating a business, I think first, I would definitely say have an idea, something general. Whether that's, I wanted to make t-shirts that inspired somebody. So my first shirt said "Dream Without Limits." I ironed on the words onto a shirt, so I didn't do anything crazy. But finding out that idea first, that's key. And then kind of going back to the research, who's done it? So for me, I knew that Damon John made shirts. He made FUBU way back in the day when that was cool. So I looked up what Damon John did. So what Damon John did was he made one shirt, and he would take the shirt, put it on somebody important, take it off. Well, he'd take the picture before we had Instagram, and then put on another person, take the picture, put on another person, take the picture. So by the time you kind of saw FUBU, you're like, oh man, all these people are wearing my product. So I would just start off with the idea. If it's something like a t-shirt, there's companies like teespring.com that you can actually upload your designs and graphics to. And if you don't make graphics, I mean, you can make the graphics on Teespring itself. So if you wanted to start selling shirts saying "I'm that dude" or something like that, you can go on Teespring, make the graphic on Teespring, and then start getting your boys first to buy it. So now you got "I'm that dude" shirts. And once people see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 of y'all doing it, people gonna be like, "Oh man, how I get a shirt?" And then more people are gonna start buying a shirt. And then say, "Hey, go to my Teespring account. The link is in my bio on Instagram, and you get a profit from whatever you sell on Teespring." So if you sell that shirt for $20, you get cut like 8 or 9 or 10, and then they ship it out to whoever it's supposed to go to. So that's like something really small and basic that you could be doing to start. So get that idea, and you get that idea, find out who's done it, try to figure out what's the smallest way I can do that on this level. Whether that's I want to be a chef and I want to bake cakes, or I want to make shirts, or whatever that is, and then just go backwards and then start at your place. Or once again, make those calls. Tweet Damon John. If y'all in a business class and y'all got 40, 50 of y'all that can do it, reach out. See if they're willing to say something. But you can easily look online and see what they're doing too. So I would just say do your research, because once you start kind of figuring out what you want to do, and I would start even smaller, bake sales. Have you guys all heard of Kickstarter? Some of y'all? Raise your hands if you heard of Kickstarter. Raise your hands. So a couple of y'all. Kickstarter. Has anybody heard of GoFundMe? Okay. No, some of y'all? Okay, we get some head nods. So go look up GoFundMe, GoFundMe.com, Kickstarter, and look at everybody on there who's trying to raise money for their businesses. You guys can actually do the same thing that they're doing. Figure out what are they doing, what are they trying to do, what kind of message are they trying to get across, and then you just figure out how can you do that for yourself. Now, once again, this stuff might not make sense now, but if you just start planting that seed and just looking at what other people are doing and just kind of let that sit every now and then, once a week, nothing crazy, just once a week, go on Kickstarter.com. See what kind of people are creating businesses, and then think about what your neighborhood needs. Think about what your school needs. Think about what your block needs. Think about things that you're trying to help. So for me, I want to actually create a scholarship that goes back to helping the youth. So if you know that's a problem for young brothers of color or whatever to get a scholarship, then how can I do that? Maybe I could do a fundraiser at my school, get people to buy these shirts. What if I told you that my "I'm That Dude" shirt is going to fund the first student out of this high school to go to college full ride? That sounds pretty dope, right? So that's something that you could do. Sounds big, but if you scale it back, get some teachers behind you, talk to the principal, and make a movement out of it, then that's definitely possible. Yes, sir.
As a parent, I've seen a lot of Black businesses before, they get to know, the business side, or starting a business.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of people who had great ideas,
Okay.
but they didn't understand the overhead. So my question to you, and that possibly help the students is, do you think it's better to go, and learn a business side, of the business before they actually jump out there and start that business on their own?
So yes and no. I think when I was selling chips and juice, that was like, I threw myself into it. I just knew I was broke. I just knew I got tired of wearing raggedy shoes to school and getting picked on. And I was like, how am I gonna make money? My parents don't got no money, so what I'm gonna do? So I saw some dudes selling chips and juice, and I was like, where did y'all get y'all chips from? Oh, we bought it from the corner store. Okay, well, how much are they at the corner store? Oh, they're 25 cents. Now, how much are you selling them for? Oh, I'm selling them for 50 cents. Okay, so if I buy $5 worth of chips, that means I'm gonna make $10 back. And that was just basic math. So like I said, for me, I just was like, all right, I'm gonna keep doing this. $10 turned into 20, minus the fact that I would eat some of my profit because I was hungry. So don't eat your profits. And then I would keep doing that. Then I was like, okay, well, what else can I sell? All right, Twix, Airheads. I went to BJ's, probably now more like Sam's for you guys. And somebody gave me their Sam's card. I bought a pack of Airheads for like $5.25, and there was like 82 in there. So I made like $17, $19 back. So I just threw myself in it. And when I started to be able to buy shoes and clothes, I was like, oh snap, this is actually making me money that my parents can't give me. And I started working at the car wash. And I understood, okay, well, my boss is bringing in cars to the car wash. He's charging $20, and then I'm getting $3 per car. Okay, so let me do the math. How many cars do I need to move in a day to maybe make 100? In a weekend, I could probably make like $200-300 if I math out the right amount of cars to move. So it was just me throwing myself into the whole business world. Now, obviously, it gets more detailed with like marketing and branding and all those concepts. But to be honest, I mean, if you learn how to sell, that's where most businesses fail because they don't really know how to sell. And then when you guys think about products like Nike, Apple, they don't ever tell y'all to buy. Have you ever seen Nike say, buy my shoe? Have you ever seen Nike say, buy my shoe? Why is that? Why do you think they do that? That's a marketing tactic. If I just show you people who are fly, who are amazing, who are in it, you're going to want it. So that's what you do with your I'm That Dude shirt. Put it on the dopest athlete in the school. When people see that athlete, they're going to be like, yo, what's up? And then they see all 6 of y'all. Wait, hold on. So y'all just going to move shirts and not going to give your boy one? And then now somebody else is going to want it. So your goal is to create some kind of movement. And that's kind of what happens with businesses. They don't really bring people in on it. They just kind of drop it and hope everybody supports. That's not how it works. Because people don't like to be sold to. So that's why Nike and Apple don't tell you to buy. Now, of course, somebody who watches this video can probably debate me and give me all kinds of reasons why that's false, but whatever. The core concept is they created a movement. And they wrapped people around it. They got people involved. They started small. So they started to focus on, he focused on his 6 boys. His 6 boys take photos, post them on Instagram. People start asking questions. Where did you get that? Then those 6 people get 6 more people. Now you got 12 people and then whoever else buying the shirts. And then that just keeps growing. So you got to create a movement, get people to follow what you do first, and actually be a good person. Because if people don't like you, I don't care if you got a business or not, I'm not buying from you. So just be a good person and give back and actually care about the people around you. So the reason why people buy my apparel is because I'm a good guy. It's not because my clothing concepts are fresh and amazing and the graphics are super tight. They just like me as a person, and I'm actually honest, or I'm actually like, I care about you, or I call on you and I check on you. Like, people actually like good people. We like Apple because of Steve Jobs. I don't really care about Apple per se, but Steve Jobs was an amazing guy. So I followed what Steve Jobs did, and I said, okay, well, I might as well get me an Apple phone. Since I like Steve, he runs the company, let me get me an Apple phone. Maybe you guys get caught on everybody else. Sorry, iPhone, not the Apple phone, my bad. Excuse me. But now people catch on because of that. So if you got a business, you just got to start small, create a movement, get people that look like you to actually rock, support it, be a part of it, and then it'll start growing on its own, or especially organically. You got YouTube, Vine, Instagram, all the stuff that now people will spread your message for you. So it's a different ballgame. I don't know if that helped at all, but
It was for the kids. It wasn't for me.
right. I know, but in general, like, I don't know if did that make sense? Okay. Any other questions, thoughts, feelings before we move on?
That's one of the shirts that you're wearing now?
Yes. This is a shirt we made back in October of last year. It says, I always had to read it because it's weird. Be strong like Regina, be fresh like Taraji, write like Shonda, shine like Lupita, deliver like Uzo, speak like Viola, age like Angela, rule like Queen, walk like Carrie, lead like Ava. You guys may have no idea who those people are, which is fine. These are black women in Hollywood that are doing amazing things that you guys are probably watching their shows. You're seeing all kinds of stuff from them. So we decided to put that on a shirt. And then somebody shared it online. This girl named Lovey. It went viral, and like literally like hundreds of people were just asking about the shirt. Later on in February, somebody from Essence in the OWN Network contacted me. We got them a couple of shirts that they used for an event. So our shirts ended up being on the OWN Network. That got us a lot of love. So since we did this back in October of last year, we've probably seen 500-600 of these shirts get sold, all through Teespring, which I just put a graphic on a shirt, created a buzz. My love and cares for black women and empowering black women these days, and that's kind of what my move is. So that's kind of where my heart's at. That happened. It went viral, and then, kind of sitting on some of that. So, but good question.
We'll take one more question before we have to switch over to the student panel.
Do you get money from other shirts? Like, cause I know there's other shirts that are like that. But like we like know how to put the names on. Do you also get money from those shirts as well, or they're all their own?
Those are other companies, other businesses. So a lot of people do have different theme shirts like this. I didn't know it was a thing until I made mine, and I was like, oh, okay, other people are doing it too. So it's cool to see everybody else kind of making something off of it. But empowerment, that's what people need. Encouragement, that's what people want. So if you find a way to be that source, with every product and everything that you guys look up to, there's some kind of encouragement factor behind it. There's some kind of innovation behind it. There's some kind of like makes me want to do something behind it, and that's what people want. So.
Nice. So let's give Alex a round of applause.